I don't like my intelligence to be insulted. What's happening right now with this UAP drone fiasco, it's starting to piss me off. There used to be a time where you knew the government worked for the people. Now it feels like we work for the government. When we fetch for answers, we get told nada, or we get told lies. Pick your poison. And it's clear as a blue sky day, something's going on, something's brewing. Welcome back to the channel. This is Can I Be Ernest, back with another video. For those of you who are new to the channel, if I'm not making videos of interest, I'm usually doing some type of commentary from the car, in the park, or in some undisclosed location. Why? Hey, because everyone else does. Folks, you see the title. And if you've been under a rock these last few weeks, something strange is going on in the skies. So lately, there's been a lot of hysteria over on the Northeast and actually throughout the world of drone activity, UAP activity. I still refer to them as UFOs. I know that's not the correct thing to say anymore, but there's been a lot of air traffic and there are no answers. None. On one hand, we have government and state officials saying it's nothing to panic about. These aren't threats. On the other hand, you have those already confirming that they're drones. Then you have other people saying they don't know what this is, where it's coming from. It's all over the place. As per government and state officials, these aren't military drones, and they're not drones coming from Iran. But then you tell us it's nothing for the public to be concerned about. You have to make it make sense. If you can't name the origins of these devices in our sky, how do you know for sure they're not a threat? You don't know. And I've never seen anything like this. And I'm a believer in UFOs. I always have been. I never got caught up in the whole Martian green men thing. But do I believe those types exist somewhere in this universe? Absolutely. And thankfully for the internet, we've learned a lot over the years about just the different types of species, the different type of alien life form. But that's neither here nor there. Our skies are no longer our skies anymore. We share this thing. And the people that we pay, the government, because remember, the government still works for the people. I don't know. It's gotten lost in translation over the last 20 or 30 years, but the government still works for the people. But the government, our trustworthy government, and I use that term lightly, they have no answers. None. Now, personally, I haven't seen anything in the skies, and I'm always paying attention. It's just one of the things I do. I like looking up. I like to see what's going on. I enjoy sunsets and sunrises, and so I'm always looking at the skies. I've seen a few orbs, throughout time, but nothing like this. And no one has any answers. So it's clear something is brewing. This is no coincidence. When in our history has it been this prevalent? Again, those in the know, they know that there's things in the sky. There's things traveling at speeds that we can't really define. But when have they ever been this prevalent? And when has the mainstream media been on top of it like this? Usually when a UFO or UAP is spotted, it's always met with laughter. When it's, presented on the newscast. Ha 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 ha. Little green men, little Martians. Ha 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 ha. It's always laughs. It's all fun and games until the White House or something gets struck. See, this is the thing. When a few years ago they disclosed or acknowledged that there is other life, within our planet, the media kind of swept it under the rug. I was always wondering why Space Force was created back in 2016, I think it was, or 2018, during Trump's first presidency. I was like, Space Force, why? Why do we need a Space Force? What do we need to monitor the skies? We already have the Air Force. We need somebody, we need groups in space. So I was always raising my eyebrow to that. Never really got the answers I was looking for. And then it got quiet. You don't really hear about Space Force. You're going to hear about it now, I'm sure. because something's brewing. Something's brewing. Each day I wake up, my local news station is covering UAP activity. Like, it makes the news now. It doesn't come at the end of the telecast where it's about to go off and the credits are about to roll. It comes on like it's, breaking news. When have we seen this in our history? Those of you who were born, in the 30s and 40s, you might be familiar with the War of the Worlds when things were broadcast on the radio stations and a lot of hoopla and all that stuff. And we're way past that now. Now our evening news, our world news, they're covering UFO activity. And I know a lot of people are now saying that these things are the size of like cars and SUVs and school buses, I've even heard. What's happening? What is happening? I just came back from vacation 2 weeks ago, and this is what I'm met with. Like, I met with UFO hysteria making the rounds on social media, on our local broadcasts, on the world news. It's everywhere. I've heard about Project Bluebeam for quite a few years now. Maybe this is what we're gearing up for. Maybe this is tied into the whole Project 2025 or 20. What's happening? I want to blame the United States, but then I look around and I see this same thing is happening over in the UK and other parts of the world. I feel like the US is magnifying a few things because that's just what we do here with the hysteria and propaganda and fear mongering. But clearly something's going on. I'm hearing they're flying out of the water, out of the ocean. They're flying over, certain military bases. They're flying over people's homes. What's happening? Why isn't anything being done? Okay, so a citizen can't shoot down a drone, but what about the military? Why aren't the military being active? Oh, I know why. Because personally, I think this is all military based. I have no proof, but what other answers are there? I'm looking at the sky now through my sunroof. That's a plane. So, okay. I'm looking up every 5 seconds now. I'm waiting for something. I don't want to be caught off guard like we were, 4 years ago. You know what 4 years ago was. I don't even need to say the word anymore. I could just say 2020 and we already know what that is. I don't want to be caught with my pants down anymore. We were caught off guard on 9/11. We were caught off guard in 2020. I don't want to be caught off guard. Just allow whatever you guys, the powers that be, are planning, just let it happen. Life is hard enough. And there's still certain people out here that I know personally who have no clue about what's happening. They're just not in tune with it. Maybe they don't believe it. I don't know. But there's still a lot of people that aren't paying attention to this. But when it makes the rounds on the news, then it's something. We know social media is a circus, so we can find everything on social media. But when the news covers stuff, pay attention. Various podcasts talking about it. Sports podcasts. It's everywhere now. Are we in for something in the coming weeks, months, coming year? I wasn't going to cover this at all, although it is a current event. But I needed to provide some type of commentary because I'm perplexed, befuddled, confused, head scratching. I'm lost because there was a time once upon a time ago where I wanted this to happen. I couldn't wait for the day where people stop referring to others as conspiracy theorists and nutcases and oh, you're off your meds and tinfoil hat wearing people. I was tired of hearing those titles for people who actually had awakenings or witnessed things. They were always dismissed. But now you're getting a large population witnessing the same thing. It's one thing when one or two people tell you, oh, I saw this and da 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 da. But when thousands of people are referring to the same thing with proof, something's going on and we need answers. And I don't know why it's so hard. I don't own a drone and I understand that there's laws You know, you can't shoot drones down. You can face jail time and all that stuff. I get it. But who's going to lock up law enforcement? No one. These things are showing up at night, which is also puzzling. You know, why show up at night? What are you surveying at night? The best vision is now when it's a sunny day. What are you imaging in the evening hours? If this is some type of alien life, why nighttime? Again, I have no idea what you can see at night that you can't see in the day. But the idea that it's always hidden, these things always happen at night. Of course, you have disclosures during the daytime in certain parts of the world, but that the fact that this is happening, it's spiked up in the evenings, in the wintertime. Like, I didn't hear anything in the summer. How come we didn't hear anything in the summer? Anything. Maybe isolated events here and there. We had the balloon incident late 2023 or early 2024, whatever it was. But the moment the wintertime, right after the election, all this stuff started happening. This is strange. Spooky times, man. Spooky times. Stay prayed up. Go about life how you go about life, and maybe it all goes away. You can't fear what you don't know. So I guess we just have to gear up and wait for 2025. This might be a doozy.